Hello dear traders, petar.jacimovic here. I want to pose an interesting idea for the position trading, and I took for myself this and wanted to share this with you. And it's about the euro versus dollar. I was watching this currency pair for previous days and weeks to actually see where we can find a good spot and where we got a good confirmation of potential next movement on this currency pair. What I found here is that euro dollar basically during this week is trading very flatty. So very flat trading in the very tight range, and we can see that these are very neutral days here. You'll see the single distributions. Even this upward day was pretty much weak, a lot of anomalies, and this is not the large money and professionals basically are not participating in this upward movement, since if we see the close of the Friday last week, the price started to go higher, but and from the open, it went about 50-60 pips. So nothing special here. Probably market is awaiting the non-farm payrolls tomorrow, which is absolutely expecting to be better than the previous, since the previous was negative minus 33k. So any positive reading and sound, it can be a very good for the strength on the US dollar. Now, watching the previous, if you watch this area here, this was a very strong day, very strong day, where we got many smaller distributions and single prints between. So this was a strong sell-off by professionals. Now, this currency pair is basically, in my opinion, in the redistribution phase, and we see that the demand is actually weak, that there is no participation from professional syndicate traders, which means basically they're right now focusing to establish sell positions. Now notice here that we have a very weak low, we have a double print low, which is very vulnerable for potential retest and potential breakout for the lower prices. That is a low from 1.1575, let's say 74 area. That's a very vulnerable for potential retest and maybe for further breakout of that zone. Now, another thing watching the profile is to notice this G period here, where we got the single prints here, and if we split here, we see this is up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 periods ago, and we got potential end of the upward auction, and that is a very good indication that some aggressive sellers actually already start to participate potential bearish momentum and bearish movement on this currency pair. So that is if we speak about the profile activity and what we see here. So we have a few neutral days, standard distributions. We have a weak low in the background. We have a few days of indecision moment, and we have a selling tail establishing today. We'll see. Will it hold? We have about 4 hours before we finish the New York session. But guess what? We go to the futures market and see what we got there. Now, I wanted to show you this chart because to reflect to what we're doing for a whole week right now. After basically price, as I said, professional sold in the first block of sell orders was here. Now, naturally, any serious smart money and any floor trader, let's call that, any professional trader will not trade and put a large positions, because there is a risk the position that he can basically do versus his own position. Now, the best way to do is to let the crowd to get to some good levels for potential rebuilding of the new blocks of the sell orders, potentially. Since, again, this is my opinion, and in my opinion, this is a strong supply indicating the good volatility as well, and good number contracts are traded. Very strong supply enter the market. Now notice here the start of this upward movement was basically even weakness for itself. So it was, I know that this is a very limited upward movement, very limited upward movement. If we speak about degree of this upward trend line, it's a very, how to say that, very soft degree, which means that it's a very weak, even the correction looks very weak. So even the crowd don't have even power for a proper correction, which means that it's a very easy to rebuild any strong number of contracts and so on. This can go pretty fast, pretty strong downward. So if once they decide that it is time to rebuild the positions, they can do that. Now notice today there is almost 28k contracts traded in this bar. This is a 30 minutes time frame. Pardon, I got news here. So you see, this is a basically bar which have the weakness for itself because it didn't finish it near the highs, and we have the next bar in 30 minutes is a down bar. So this may be a climatic action, and we have this bar which also got lower volume than previous. So this is something like no demand or some, so this indicates potential climatic action and stopping activity here by some intraday traders for now, which can produce also good entry for position traders. Now, the final confirmation of this will be if, of course, the price go lower, breakout, maybe retest, and then go lower. Okay. So the breakout of this upward trend line will be confirmation. Anyway, I established it in position trading, so I don't need to wait for a breakout of this. I already know that this is basically redistribution phase. And interesting point here, why I mark this zone on the futures 1.1706 is this one, which you will see if I go, let's go to the daily time frame and show you what I mean. Okay, voila. So very strong level here where we got a demand previously, and now what we shifted, we did a breakout on the high volume, and price basically trying to retest that. We saw that redistribution is building. We saw also this few days can be a bearish flag for the lower prices. Now notice that there is also head and shoulders formation in the background, very big one. So conditions are pretty much technically, and watching the intermarket coloration, very bearish at this moment, and we just wait to them to redistribute. Now, if you're a position trader and you wait to see price and then act, then it's already late. Now, for example, as I explained you on the British pound most recently, that we may expect selling of large block orders on the news event. Now, if you want to see what the news will be and then try to sell, that's already late. Now, you must understand and anticipate potential scenarios, and on that way, with the proper risk control and proper leverage, try to get a good amount of profit. Now, I sold the euro dollar on the position trading, and I will go for about 450 pips or 500 pips in return. Okay, so anyway, I just want to post you to the situation so you can basically maybe benefit on that. And basically what I saw today, there is a markup. What I saw for a whole week, we are in the potential redistribution phase, and I don't see any strong low, and this low is very weak and vulnerable for potential retest and potential breakout for the lower prices. Now, we got a non-farm payroll tomorrow, but again, expectations are very good, very high, and last non-farm payroll was negative, and minus 33k, but this expectation is very high, and pretty much all professionals already are pretty fine and understand that there is a big chance that actually dollar strengthening on this event tomorrow. We already know the fundamental picture on the ECB, and if you follow that, and you know that they extend the length of the QE program, but they will reduce by half from January and so on, but still increasing in the length and so on. It actually represents that they need this stimulus still to make economy better, which will actually weak their own currency. So technically, fundamentally, we got, and this is potential good opportunity. So that's why I wanted to alert you about this. Of course, we'll see how the market will play, but this is my opinion on this one. So, for example, if you are short-term oriented, or if you are, for example, intraday trader or so on, maybe you can watch for a breakout of the trend of this upward trend line or channel, and then watch for potential sell play after the breakout. But for me, position trading, this is a very good to build a position. Since I hold this position for maybe even week 2, 3 weeks, depend. Okay, but for you, if you are trading intraday or swing trading for a few days, then you can wait for confirmation before you enter there. It'll be all for this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you like my video, feel free to subscribe my YouTube channel, leave a comment. If you want to learn my method and how you can, you can do this and watch for good opportunities on the market. It doesn't matter if you're intraday trader or a position trader or swing trader. I can teach you the ways to spot the professionals, to understand the money flow, to understand how they position themselves, and understand the market making maneuvers, which is very important to know, because if you must understand market making maneuvers, because you don't want to be implemented into the crowd positioning. So you must understand different aspects. So there is a lot of aspects here. This is some of the basic aspects I speak here to get the point. But there is a lot of aspects here when you build position trading or even intraday trade. You must be very skilled and understand the also fundamentals, understand the technical position, and understand intermarket situation. It doesn't matter what instrument you trade. You need to be able to understand all of these factors and then decide, is it good or bad to establish any position on the specific symbol you observe. So that'll be all for this video. Let me know if you want to start my mentorship program. You can contact me by Skype. My Skype username will be in the description of the video. Of course, you can join in my thread, the Forex Factory, the art of trading by Petar Serbia, and then you can find that on the Forex Factory forum, and also post your ideas or so on. And from the next year again, I will start my services and my company, and I will alert you about that. Bye bye for now, and trade safe.